Right, okay. Let's jump in with a bit of flight training. And we're going to do some glider training. Aerotow launch training. Just to see what I've missed or what there is that I need to relearn. Because at the moment, I'm not very impressed with what I've seen, if I'm being totally honest. I know there's a default Xbox controller set up, but that really doesn't help anybody who doesn't fly with an Xbox controller, really. Ready to fly.
Welcome to your Aerotow training. We have paid for a tug up to 3,000 feet and will be flying a predetermined circuit. When you're ready to release, signal the tow aircraft by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
Roger that. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Except for the fact that when we took this in the Alps, the glider was just sliding down the runway and into the back of the tug plane, so...
Keep the wings level until the glider gently rises off the ground. Keep about 5 feet off the ground until the tug plane takes off so we don't lift its tail. Keep low until the tug lifts off the ground. Keep directly behind the tow aircraft at all times, both horizontally and vertically.
Yep. We need a landing gear to be retracted, which is E and not G. That's rather weird.
Excellent. You are maintaining a safe position.
Thank you. You know, when I look out and I see how amazing the ground looks, it does put a smile on my face every time.
Let's keep directly behind the tug as it turns.
Oh, there he goes. Just remembered Spike, I don't know if he did this one or a different one, but he asked me to beat his score, and I can't remember what his score was, but it suddenly popped into my head there might actually be a score for this. I should try and do it properly. He's going. Oh, massive stutter there.
We're approaching the designated altitude of 3,000 feet.
Roger.
Upon release, gently turn to the right as the tow aircraft turns left.
Roger.
Release the cable.
Oh, I don't know what the release cable is. I think it broke off.
Excellent. Very well done.
Right. Got A, 8,632. It should show me Spike's score, right? See, oh, look how many points I lost there. That would have been 9,632. That would have been almost perfect. But what these things should do... what these things should do is say to you, you need this button, and this button. And then ask you to bind those buttons to something. Because it doesn't. Let's go back to main menu. So for some reason, E is now retract gears. It's always been G. I don't know when it changed to E. Going the wrong way. Options, controls. Right, so let's just check this. Keyboard. By input, G. The G now, oh, Control G puts the gear down. And E, which used to start the engine, now changes the gizmo rate, selects the engine, toggles the wing lights and the recognition. It does like a million things. Since when has E toggled landing gear? Never. I'll change that back to G because it's just what I would use. So, I need to change this to right, so what we'll do is we'll copy this X56 slider. And then we'll change something. So we'll say release. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll put that on the trigger. Oh, easy. That's that done. And now I need to change the throttle to glider. Yes, I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Doesn't do anything. Do anything. So that decreases flaps. We need to get rid of that. There's no flaps in a... There are no flaps in a glider, but there are... what are they called? Boilers? We're going to have to figure it out during the tutorial. Let's go flight training. Glider training. I'm annoyed with that. I could have had a 100% score, but never mind. Winch launch training. Initial rotation, reduction in climb rate, and then release. Keep the wings level and avoid a wing striking the ground. Yikes. Be kind of fun.
Today, we're going to practice using a winch to launch the 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝘀𝗋 into the air. Compared to a tow plane launch, a winch will get us airborne much faster, but with a lower release altitude.
Yeah.
Once we give the go signal, the winch will rapidly accelerate us. Be sure to keep the wings level until the glider lifts off.
I've got to turn all this crap off. Oh my god, assistance options. Aircraft systems, hard. Navigation's hard. What? Oh, it's in training, so I can't change anything. Glider tow plane takeoff assistance. Off. 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 I think that's been causing me a lot of problems. I'm going to go back to helicopters and try those out now that I've turned that off. Thanks to everyone who shouted that out to me in chat, by the way. Okay, so we should be good to go now.
We're ready to release. Signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
Oh, here we go.
Rotate.
Oh, what's happened?
Abort launch.
What happened? Don't tell me it created a new profile with absolutely no inputs whatsoever. Let me check this. Oh my god. It did. Oh my good god. Alright. Apologies. We'll delete that. Go back to gravel. Open the preset manager. Duplicate. That's what I meant to do. I must have clicked on the wrong thing. X-56 gliders. No. So it's not me then. So I didn't do it wrong. The game is wrong because that has not duplicated my inputs, has it? Unless this is empty. Oh my god, why is that empty? Let's try again. X56 Mustang. Preset manager, duplicate. Try this again. See what happens. X56 gliders. Glider. Okay, good. Tow plane, winch release. Going on the button, validate. All right, Apologies.
We're going to practice using a winch to launch the 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃 into the air. Compared to a tow plane launch, a winch will get us airborne much faster, but with a lower release altitude.
Yep.
Once we give the go signal, the winch will rapidly accelerate us. Be sure to keep the wings level until the glider lifts off. When you are ready to release, signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
There you go. Mate is waving his arm, and away we'll go.
Rotate.
Pretty groovy.
Abort launch.
Did I not rotate hard enough? I need to be more aggressive. It says here, once at rotation speed, gently pull back on the stick pitch the nose of the glider up to a 45-degree angle. I've seen this done in real life, and it's very aggressive. It looks really scary.
Today, we're going to practice using a winch to launch the 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃 into the air. Compared to a tow plane launch, a winch will get us airborne much faster, but with a lower release altitude.
Why is all this
Once we
crap
give the
on
go
my
signal,
screen?
the winch will rapidly accelerate us. Be sure to keep the wings level until the glider lifts off. When you are ready to release, signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
Notice how we're not actually centralized on the runway either. 45 degrees.
Rotate. Almost at the top, level off, and when you hear a distinct change of sound from the winch, release the cable. The cable has automatically back-released. It's a lot to focus on at once. Keep it up, and you'll get the hang of it quickly.
What are you talking about? I pressed the button.
It can be tricky to get right, but you did well. Keep practicing, and you'll improve quickly.
Yeah, of course I will. So, points deducted for dropping below or going above the safe airspeeds. I can't really see anything clear enough to have any idea if I'm going fast enough or not. 102 kilometers per hour. Let's see if we can maybe zoom in a bit.
Today, we're going to practice using a winch to launch the 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃 into the air. Compared to a tow plane launch, a winch will get us airborne much faster, but with a lower release altitude. Once we give the go signal, the winch will rapidly accelerate us. Be sure to keep the wings level until the glider lifts off. When you are ready to release, signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
(102 to 130). Okay.
Rotate.
How?
Almost at the top, level off, and when you hear a distinct change of sound from the winch, release the cable. The cable has automatically back-released.
I did not hear any kind of change in audio from it.
You'll get the hang of it quickly.
There was absolutely no change in audio that I heard. Plus, I was given that full back rudder in an attempt to stop going over 130.
Keep practicing and you'll improve quickly.
Plus, I didn't bring in the landing gear, did I? Are we going to do this? We're going to do a decent. We're going to get an A. Because this is not complicated. I swear to God, I can't hear a difference in that winch at all. Not a thing.
Today, we're going to practice using a winch to launch the DG-1001 into the air. Compared to a towplane launch, a winch will get us airborne much faster, but with a lower release altitude. Once we give the go signal, the winch will rapidly accelerate us. Be sure to keep the wings level until the glider lifts off. When you are ready to release, signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
Here goes nothing.
Rotate. Almost at the top, level off, and when you hear a distinct change of sound from the winch, release the cable. This is how we do a winch launch. It certainly gets the blood pumping and keeps your concentration high.
I think it would scare the crap out of me, to be honest with you.
If you keep flying like that, you'll be right up there with the best of them. Very well done.
Except I left my landing gear out. Well, we got A anyway. Was that maximum score? Okay. I swear to God, there is no audible difference to the winch whatsoever. Just wait for it to say it. Wait for a second or two. Press the button. That's what I did. Alright. Training menu. Let's do the next one. Oh, advanced. Tow line brake training. We will be practicing low altitude tow cable brake procedures in this tutorial, one of the most important type of emergency actions in soaring. This will be a simulated brake that you initiate by disconnecting the tow cable when we reach 700 feet altitude above the ground. Using a winch launch to get airborne, you'll need to disconnect the cable at the right moment, then control the sailplane to get into the pattern to land on runway 22. The flight will start on runway 22. And okay. Be alert and ready to react at all times. So this will never happen in the game unless you actively make it happen, which is really disappointing, I think. All right, ready to fly.
Welcome to your advanced winch launch training. Keep the wings level, rotate into the climb at the correct moment, and maintain a safe speed and trajectory. A winch launch demands the highest level of awareness and ability to appropriately react as quickly as possible. When you are ready to release, signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times. Cable brake. Excellent. You handled that perfectly. We are too high to land ahead. Turn back and fly alongside the runway. When safe, turn and line up in preparation to land.
I don't have any spoilers, ATM. Nice bit of rattle though. Dump water ballast. Okay. Deploy air brakes, air brakes. Okay, air brakes. This is what I want. This is what I need, are these buttons. And if it just said, you need this button, this button, this button to start, I could bind them all before I even start the tutorial. That makes so much more sense to me. Air brakes. Air brake as in one word? No. Air brake. Oh, wonderful. Input. Where's input on this keyboard? That one? Hell no, it's not that one. I just turned all my screens off. That was weird as hell. Okay. What doesn't help is that what they call it in the game is different than what they call it in the control panel. So finding it is incredibly awkward. Num divide, num divide. Select input. I need to input keyboard. Look for num divide. That one. There it is. Spoilers. That's what I looked for. Spoilers. Oh my god. What are we doing? Rhino throttle. Spoiler. Spoilers axes. Right, it's already been used somewhere else, so let's clear that because we don't have an engine. On most gliders, not all. Right. So landing speed is 100 to 130. Get a bit of a zoom in. Maybe bring the landing gear down. Landing gear down, sorry. Head tracking's playing up, that's really helpful. We're a bit slow. We'll drop a bit. Get a bit of extra speed. Spoilers are yeah, spoilers on. Maximum spoilers. There we go. That tree is appallingly placed. Going way too fast. Too high. No, we're not going to do it. These spoilers are actually doing anything. He does not want to land. The spoilers just didn't seem to want to slow the plane down. Right, we do it again. Now we've got the buttons. Should be able to do it.
Welcome to your advanced winch launch training. Keep the wings level, rotate into the climb at the correct moment, and maintain a safe speed and trajectory. A winch launch demands the highest level of awareness and ability to appropriately react as quickly as possible. When you are ready to release, signal the winch operator by moving your rudder left and right a few times.
I'm ready to release, mate. Let's go. Safe launch coming up. Too fast, way too fast.
Break. Excellent, you handled that perfectly. We are too high to land ahead. Turn back and fly alongside the runway. When safe, turn and line up in preparation to land.
Roger, Dodger. Water ballast is gone. It's actually animated as well. That's pretty cool. Takes a while. By my air brakes. Come around and land on runway 22. Okay. See if we can do it this time. About 120 seems ideal. Oh, we're going way too fast. 70 knots. Oh, okay. I thought I was misreading that. Right, this feels more like it. We're going quite fast. Lead off some of that speed around the tree. Okay, that felt pretty good.
That was a simulated cable break, intended to prepare you for flying solo. If you keep flying like that, you'll be right up there with the best of them. Very well done.
Thank you. Ah, we didn't get maximum score. What did I do wrong? I bet I released too early. Yeah, my safety takeoff wasn't very good. Everything else was fine. Just balls that first bit up. Okay, well, I'll take that. Training menu. Here we go. Where is it? 42%. Basic handling. Today's lesson will introduce you to the basic controls and instruments of a glider. You will launch a DG-100. Blah, 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 blah. Pitch and airspeed. Pulling back on the control stick. Maintain a constant speed. Yeah. Okay, the yaw. Okay, fine. All right.
Today, you'll experience soaring in a glider, what many aviators consider to be the purest form of flight. Unlike powered aircraft, a glider pilot must adjust altitude to control airspeed. To increase airspeed, push the stick forward. Pulling back on the stick will lower airspeed. Maintaining constant airspeed in a glider requires the pilot to frequently and carefully adjust stick input and elevator trim. Let's see how the glider feels at different airspeeds. With gliders, expect a delay of 1 to 2 seconds from control input to change in speed. Let's increase airspeed to 167 kilometers per hour. Gently push the stick forward to pitch the nose down as you observe the airspeed indicator. At 167 kilometers per hour, pull back gently to maintain speed and trim the elevator so that the glider maintains 167 kilometers per hour without pilot input.
It's easier said than done. Trim is awful in this game. Oh my god, it's like way too much or not enough. Come on.
Now let's reduce our airspeed. Bring the glider to 102 kilometers per hour. To reduce airspeed, gently lift the nose by pulling back on the stick. You need less input compared to pushing the stick forward. Bleeding off our airspeed will take a few moments.
Well, that's 102.
Once you're at 102 kilometers per hour, maintain that airspeed at first by stick input, and then adjust trim so no input is necessary. We will now take a look at how to maneuver the glider in turns.
Terrible.
Unlike powered aircraft, gliders require considerable rudder input to begin a turn. A vital indicator for turns is the red yaw string on the center of the canopy.
Yep.
We always want to keep it centered. Then we use just the right amount of rudder and ailerons for coordinated flight. To center a deflected string, apply aileron in the same direction or rudder in opposite direction of the deflected string. Let's see what happens to the yaw string if we try to bank the glider without any rudder input. Keep the rudder centered and slowly move the stick to the left, then to the right while observing the yaw string. Steer the glider to straight and level flight again. Let's see what happens if we use the rudder pedals only. Apply left rudder followed by right rudder without touching the stick. Just like before, watch what happens to the string. Establish straight and level flight again. Now that you understand the use of the yaw string, let's perform a circle maneuver. To roll the glider, apply both aileron and rudder inputs simultaneously in the same direction. Hold a bank angle of 45 degrees and keep the yaw string centered with the rudder throughout the turn. The glider will begin turning. To maintain the nose on the horizon, you might need to pull back slightly on the stick. Roll the ailerons and rudder opposite of your turn to a wings level attitude. Let's attempt a left 360, then level the wings and perform a right 360. Try to keep the yaw string centered while turning.
I'm a bit nose down, to be honest. Try that again. Oh. Come on. Come up. Goodness me. That's a lot harder to do than I thought it would be. Alright, let's get some speed. Now I've got to do it to the right. Okay. Had it for a second, only for a second. That's really quite tough.
For now, let's return to the airport. You've covered the basics, and your skills will improve with practice.
Oof.
You've done a great job.
I've got an A for that. I didn't expect to get an A for that. That was pretty terrible. I did not feel confident at all. Oh wow, so okay, I did pretty good with the end bit, which is the bit I thought I did terrible with. The trim is really difficult. Yeah. Okay. That was actually more difficult than I imagined it would be. Flipping approach and landing. I've already done one of these if you've been watching. We'll do another one. look at that. Look at all those air foils, I guess you'd call them.
Pilots sometimes need to reduce altitude without gaining excessive speed. Slipping is a technique to accomplish this. This technique can even allow a pilot to land a sailplane without air brakes, crucial if they break or freeze during flight. To perform a slip, the pilot holds the nose to one side with rudder input while lowering the opposite wing with ailerons. You may use either side for slipping, but it's easier to control if you apply aileron into the crosswind. We have a left side crosswind. We need to lower the left wing with ailerons while yawing the nose to the right with the rudder. I will advise when to start the slip maneuver during your final approach.
All right then.
For now, fly closer to the runway.
Fly closer to the runway.
Slip now. Start with right rudder. Now apply left aileron to keep the glider on track. Now, in addition to slipping, apply full air brakes. The combination will quickly bring us onto our needed glide path. See how quickly we're approaching the normal glide path? Let's leave the slip now. When established, hold the pitch attitude by gently pulling back on the stick. Good job. See how simple and efficient the slip is?
Yep.
Be aware that the glider will tend to speed up during this maneuver. Use your elevator to maintain approach speed. Return rudder and aileron to center position. Keep the air brakes out as required for approach. Now continue the approach. We still have left crosswind and need to align with the runway. This is done by the same technique but with less control input. Use only enough right rudder input to align the glider's nose with the runway. Apply the necessary amount of left aileron input to keep the sailplane's path aligned with the runway. For track correction, use your aileron only. Keep the nose aligned with the runway with your rudder. Now it's your task to carry out the crosswind landing in this way.
All right. Bit fast, but we're okay. We're all right. Bit bouncy. Whoa!
Slipping approaches take time to master, but are a great way to nail your landings. You now know the basics. Very precise on the controls. Carry on.
Oh, again, just missed out on maximum score. Oh, my forward slip wasn't good enough. That is surprising. I thought I'd do quite well with that. Never mind. Training menu. Thermal identification. This I do need to know. Here we go.
Glider pilots need to continuously be on the lookout for the next thermal or other source of lift to stay aloft. Thermals are small diameter parcels of rising air. Gliders must fly in tight circles to stay within them. Cumulus clouds, which typically resemble cotton balls, are a good indicator of thermals as they often form above them. Thermals suited for lift often require pilots to search under a few cumulus clouds. The variometer is a vital tool for soaring. This device indicates a sailplane's rate of ascent and descent with audible tones. After familiarization with the variometer's tones, you'll be able to know your climb rate without referencing other instruments. A variometer indicates a climb with an interrupted high-pitched tone and descent with a continuous low-pitched tone. As we approach the cloud, listen closely to the variometer and be ready to turn in when its tone indicates lift. Okay, the variometer is indicating lift. Turn in and begin circling. Roll into a 45-degree bank and complete at least one circle. Gauging a thermal strength typically requires completing at least one full turn within it. For a thermal under a neighboring cloud.
Search for another thermal. Okay. My head tracker's playing up a bit. Really doesn't help. There's another cloud there, okay.
Now we'll work on keeping your circles tight and smooth. Two important rules to follow are: keep your speed low, between 93 and 102 kilometers per hour. Maintain a constant altitude, keeping a continuous 45-degree bank and the nose of the glider slightly above the horizon. Continue circling, maintaining a 45-degree bank angle and an airspeed between 93 and 102 kilometers per hour.
Maintaining that speed is the hardest thing. I'm sure we're going to ascend 500 feet. Or maybe we are. $102.93. That's really hard. Maintaining that speed is the hardest thing. Try doing it the other way.
Soaring through the heights without an engine is an exhilarating experience of pure aviation freedom. You are proficient enough to practice these skills solo. Go ahead and continue perfecting these maneuvers in a single-seater. Great flying.
Whoa, that was quite tricky. Holding the speed was very hard. We'll take that. We'll take that for a first go. Just bear with me. I'm going to say hello to my daughter. Okay, so the last thing is ridge soaring. Well, this will be fun. Ridge lift soaring ranks as one of the most spectacular and rewarding activities in the world of gliders. Certain locations throughout the globe are renowned for having conditions that are often ideal for ridge lift soaring. One of these is central Pennsylvania in the northeastern United States. Here there are several ridges that force moving air into the upper atmosphere, which gliders can ride for hours on end by carefully maneuvering above the landscape. One of these ridges is near Belleville. Once we are abeam Belleville, we will turn and fly along the ridge. As we approach Highway 322, we will return to the airport. All right. 10 minutes. Let's do it. This sounds like fun. I prefer this much more than cumulative cloud climbing or whatever it's called. Never get on the leeward side. You will not be able to get over the ridge, I think that said.
This will be your introduction to ridge lift soaring. We just launched from Reidsville Airfield and are heading toward Jack's Mountain Ridge. At prevailing winds, the ridge will generate good lift. The ridge extends over many miles, but we'll only use a short portion for introduction. Let's fly directly to the ridge and follow it in a southwesterly direction. We have a tailwind on our route to the ridge, so we'll get there quickly. As soon as you recognize ascending air during our approach to the ridge, begin a right turn. One of the cardinal rules of ridge soaring is to avoid the ridge's lee side due to downdrafts that often form in that region. Try to maintain as high a rate of speed as possible while flying close to terrain, as it affords the most escape options. Increase the speed until the vertical speed becomes 0, but stay below the yellow arc. Steer the aircraft far enough into the crosswind to avoid drift toward the lee side. We'll turn back in approximately 5 minutes when we're abeam of Belleville. Meanwhile, watch the vertical speed. If it indicates a constant descent, we should try flying closer or farther from the ridge. Watch for other traffic. Currently, we need to give way because the ridge is to our left-hand side. When traffic is approaching, turn right far enough to allow the traffic to pass, then maneuver back to the ridge.
I don't think I'm really getting any lift here. I'm not doing very well here. I don't feel like we're getting any lift.
at Beam Belleville. Let's turn back. Remember to turn away from the ridge.
Fly along the highway. I don't even see a highway. Or maybe I do. Yeah, I see it. Honestly, the trim is just awful in this game. That's one tap of trim. Look how much the nose has dropped. I don't think we're going to get very good scores here, but whatever. So I guess what's kind of cool is you could just turn right and go back down and just maintain this ridge soaring experience. Now that's pretty cool. You fly for hours like that, I imagine. Where's the runway? I don't even see it. Is that it over there? I see it.
This is Highway 322. Let's return to the airport. It's off your left wing. Great flying. You can definitely explore ridge soaring on your own now. We can
Thanks.
also go up for another round if you aren't comfortable yet on your own.
I think I'm alright.
With more training, you'll continue to improve.
Oh, terrible score. Yeah, I think I deserved that. Yeah, holding that speed, I was really struggling to hold that speed. And I didn't get into the ascending air very well either. Yeah, I did pretty bloody awful, I'll admit. But we'll come back to it another time. Well, that should be 100% training done. Oh, 95% mastered. So I'd say I was proficient. I could probably get 100% here. We have another go at this. Just to see if my buddy can beat my score. I think, to be honest, I think it's quite easy to get 100%. I suspect it's quite easy to get 100%. So most people are going to have maximum score, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Now that I've got the buttons bound, look at his head sticking out the top of it. You see that? Look, his head sticking out the top of the thing. Oh, that's a shame. I don't like to find issues with the game, but they're just everywhere.
Welcome to your aero tow training. We have paid for a tug up to 3,000 feet and will be flying a predetermined circuit. Keep the wings level until the glider gently rises off the ground. When you're ready to release, signal the tow aircraft by moving your rudder left and right a few times. Keep about 5 feet off the ground until the tug plane takes off so we don't lift its tail. Keep low until the tug lifts off the ground. Keep directly behind the tow aircraft at all times, both horizontally and vertically.
I'm going to have to change the tow release button because my finger is hovering over that trigger and it's hard not to press it. But,
Excellent. You are maintaining a safe position.
Thank you. I'll retract landing gear. Right. Wasn't paying attention. Well, I was, but not to that.
Let's keep directly behind the tug as it turns.
I did better in my first go. I don't know what the bloody hell that noise is. Something's triggering off like a lunatic. The brakes. The air brakes.
We're approaching the designated altitude of 3,000 feet. Upon release, gently turn to the right as the tow aircraft turns left.
Mm-hmm.
Release the cable. Excellent. Very well done.
Job's a good one. Ah, we didn't get maximum score. I don't know what he scored. That was, yeah, I was a bit shaky at the beginning. Everything else was fine. I'll take that anyway. So what are we now? 96%? Nope, still 95%. A bit of work to do. But do you know what? Gliding, Microsoft Flight Simulator, not terrible. It certainly isn't the best gliding experience I've ever had. But combined with the fantastic terrain, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I'd like to see some updates and some more input. I'd like to see the glider community really get involved and just tell Microsoft what they want and what they need. And hopefully 𝗬𝗍 will listen and do it. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that. Not a bad experience. Quite fun, actually. I'm going to go say goodnight to my daughter. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.